Welcome to Joy with Alicia. I really appreciate you coming to visit my channel. Today we're going to do a little lecture and we're going to focus on one specific aspect of mindfulness, which is attention to variability, attention to how circumstances ebbs and flows, situations ebb and flow, your symptoms ebb and flow, the traits that define you maybe even ebb and flow. So mindfulness part of mindfulness is that attention to variability. So what I want to draw our attention to here is the fact that if we pay attention to variability, meaning how different contexts affect us, how different behaviors affect us, we get some more control over our health, over flourishing, over our self-care toolkit. So I always tell my students, you don't want to just have one self-care method. Like, I love yoga, I'll do yoga all day long, but sometimes I can't do yoga, so I need to have other things in my toolkit. Attention to variability will help you build your self-care toolkit. So let's bring it to the idea of a chronic illness or disorder, say depression or ADHD or chronic pain or even something like multiple sclerosis. These chronic disorders, once we get the label, we often don't question it. If we have the ADHD label, let's say, and we're having trouble paying attention, we automatically assume it's because of our ADHD, when maybe we didn't get enough sleep last night, and that's why we're all over the place. Or maybe we should have worked out to get some of that energy out. Again, different things work for different people. There's no right or wrong. It's about paying attention to what works for you. Because although we're presenting evidence-based practices on this channel, remember that science is based on a certain sample, a certain group of participants that are averaged together to get us an answer. We're talking about an average, which means no real person probably looks exactly like that, since we're averaging together multiple people. Second, even if there is a person out there that's exactly like the average that we get, that might not be you. So you need to take a little bit more control and pay attention to what works for you. So that's what we're talking about with attention to variability. So when you're depressed, it ebbs and flows. Let's say you have depression. When you feel more depressed, what is the context? What is going on in your life? How have you been eating? How have you been moving around? Have you been spending too much time watching TV? Whatever. When you feel less depressed, what's going on there? What did you do that might have helped? Because you still want to be scientific about it. Just because you feel extra depressed and you also happen to not get enough sleep last night, they might not be connected, but they might. And that's the point. We want to look at the connections between how we feel and our behavior. So when something feels worse, what are some reasons, some context, some situations that might be contributing to that? When we feel better, what are the contexts that are contributing to that? Can we harness that to flourish, to take care of our health? So this can be applied to mental health disorders, chronic physical ailments. Everything ebbs and flows. As they say, the only certainty in life is uncertainty. And although that's a platitude, it's true. Life is changeable. Let's harness that to our advantage. Notice when we feel better. What's going on when we feel better? This also goes into our authentic positivity, because remember, we're not faking it till we make it. Although there's a study or two out there that supports that idea, most studies do not corroborate that. Pretending you're okay when you're not really is pretty toxic for most of us. So we don't really want to fake it till we make it. We want to be authentic. So to be authentic can be difficult when we're going through difficult things. When we're going through negative experiences, it can be hard to be optimistic. It can be hard to push through. Remembering that uncertainty, remembering that things are transient and ebb and flow can help us get through the hard times. It's not going to be hard forever. So we can push through knowing that this too will be over soon. It can also be used for positivity. We don't want to let positive experiences slide on by. We want to enjoy them. We want to savor them. So remembering that things vary, remembering that things are transient is very important for developing our self-care toolkit. And I just wanted to give my inspiration for today's little lecture. I just reread The Mindful Body by Dr. Ellen Langer. She is a psychologist at Harvard University. She's been doing mindfulness research for over 40 years. This is her newest book. It's already 2 years old, but amazing book. Alicia recommendation. Thank you so much for joining me today. There's a whole chapter on attention to variability in here if you're interested in learning more about that. Otherwise, I'll be here for you if you've got any questions. Thank you so much for listening today and have a wonderful rest of your week. Namaste.